Do you ever want to know how powerful organisations and businesses get away with the financial crimes that they might commit? I heard this clip this week. This is off the Radio 1 news quiz from January 2017. And I just wanted to listen to this clip for about 3 minutes. And it just gives a bit of an overview about how a big organisation has got away with it. Okay, so just have a little bit of a listen.
Which high rollers have got out of trouble?
Well, it's important, I think, sometimes to remember that while we're all having a lovely time enjoying the carnival of uncertainty that is Brexit, that there are other stories happening in the world, and this is one of them. The story concerns Rolls-Royce, which is the engineering firm, not the upmarket BAP shop in Morningside. And there's a thing called deferred prosecution agreement that enables firms to avoid prosecution if they freely confess to economic crimes like fraud or bribery. So the serious fraud office, not to be confused with the frivolous fraud office that deals with people who die their here and don't admit it, found conspiracy to corrupt or failure to prevent bribery by Rolls-Royce in China and India and lots of other markets. Now, Rolls-Royce are going to pay £671 million in penalties, but the firm won't be prosecuted themselves because they admitted what they did. So, for example, they gave away cars, Rolls-Royces, to get contracts. I'm a bit miffed at because in all my years of doing Radio 4 panel shows and local arts centres, I've never been offered a car. I got a fruit platter in Lowestoft, but that's all I've had. So actually, Rolls-Royce's fine was halved because they admitted it, and their share price has gone up.
So the government has set up a scheme whereby big organisations can pay the government to avoid prosecution. Right, now, I'm no expert, but that sounds like, I don't know, bribery?
It's a thing that's not available to the average person to say, I stole some condiments from the Premier Inn, I'm sorry. That's literally what I'm saying to you all. I stole some condiments. Don't chain down the ketchup.
To be fair to Rolls-Royce, apart from the 671 million, they also did have to issue an apology, and that's not an easy car to find in Hallmark. A big sort of kitten's face with the words, "Sorry, we bribed so many of your officials." As you say, it is effectively bribing your way out of a charge of bribery.
And their share price uplift will essentially pay for the £671 million.
I mean, this is a great success story we're talking about.
If you're selling things to lots of parts of the world, baksheesh is the way it is. You've got to pay and pay. It's only here where we have a formalised system of bribery and corruption known as the class system that it seems distasteful and gauche to actually pay.
They're just keeping it real, aren't they?
I mean, this is what do you want?
Well,
they're making engines that go in. Yeah, it is illegal.
I don't want to be the one on the panel that's like all up in your grill about the legality of bribery, but it's kind of
They've admitted they were wrong. Let's get back to the main business of selling aviation equipment that gets stuck onto fighter jets. This is the whole point. Britain is a great trading nation, and this is what it trades: corruption and arms.
Okay, so just to summarise, there's this thing called the Deferred Prosecution Agreement, and basically that just means if you admit it, they will pay a fine and they can then avoid prosecution, as in the case, as you heard on the clip, into Rolls-Royce. The questions that I want you to ask yourself in reflection of that clip is, why would the people that create the law want this type of agreement? You could be thinking about who is creating the laws, and also who does this type of law benefit? And what you then might want to do is use it in comparison to the normal or the working class type crime. What would happen to them if they committed a similar type of crime, and why do they have a different type of punishment? And these types of questions should form part of your analysis and evaluation of when you are looking at class and crime, and it can fit into white collar crime, it can fill into questions about corporate crime, crimes of the powerful, and so on. Okay, so thank you for listening. This is from BBC News Quiz off Radio 4.